Alrighty, greetings and various assorted salutations. So in the previous tutorial, I showed how to grade assignments. Now we're going to look at it from the student's point of view and what assignments look like when they get them back. So right off the bat, we're in my student account. There's several different things here. You've got the stream where the news updates are. We're currently in classwork. And then there's the button where you can click View Your Work. And this has all the assignments that have been issued. The student can then filter the ones that have been assigned, the things that are missing. That only appears if they haven't turned something in and it's past a due date that was set, or returned with grade as a filter. So right off the bat, we can see that there's a comment, and let's dive in and look at what that looks like. So right off the bat, the private comment that I put in, use the textbook, your turkey is right there. You can click View Details and get the whole grandeur of it. And then the student can actually go in and look at the feedback. Now for my students, I highly recommend that you look at the feedback. I was in, what was it? Before I got into education, when I was in graduate school, I studied on technical editing and the importance of giving feedback and comments of digital editing. And so when I try and grade assignments, I try and give meaningful feedback to students on particular things. Some of my feedback will say this works and this is why it works. This is one of the critical components to feedback. Is often when you're giving good feedback, you want to explain why things didn't work or why things worked. Because the way the student learns is they can be like, oh, this way of answering a question was a good way, and this is why it worked. I'm going to repeat that method. Or if it didn't work, this is especially important in academic writing. It's like, oh, this didn't work, but I could try this. Students learn a fair amount through trial and error and building up experiences, and feedback can coordinate those learning experiences. So right off the bat, you can tell I didn't provide great feedback on this assignment because it's the test one. But some of the feedback I would put in is on this is why this question works, this is why that question works. And you can see the comments are over here. And as a student, I recommend always going through your assignments. I mean, I know a lot of students, it's like when you hand back papers and half of them are shoved in the recycling bin. Because they just have a mark that says, yep, teacher got it, graded it, we're done. But one of the things you want to do as a student is try and understand why you got the grade that you got. If you got an A, still check. At least in my classes anyways, I explain why you're awesome. A as in awesome. Because I believe that if you understand things, you can better, do things in the future. And so when I return an assignment, unless it's something that's very rote, where it's like you either got it wrong or you didn't, like we have a vocab assignment where it's quite obvious, like you either looked up the definitions and put them in, or you just didn't. But for the most part on assignments, especially essays, I provide feedback. My ancient civ students, for example, are well versed in the fact that I can, will, and do detect when they don't capitalize things correctly due to the social media craze of shortcutting that. In fact, I have a funny little standard comment that pops up where every time a student doesn't capitalize something correctly, or every time I choose to highlight it, I can post a comment that says, please refer to this document on how to capitalize. So sometimes my comments are serious and a bit silly at times, but giving feedback is important. Now, I know that a lot of students do not like going over their feedback. I know as a student, I hated going over feedback. I especially learned to hate it when I was in college. But that was partially because I didn't always get the greatest or most useful feedback. But also it's been shown that humans really just don't like being criticized. Comment section is below. Anyways, so this is what you want to do when you're a student looking through, is take some time, go over why you did well in the assignments. This is a part of the assignments. This is part of the learning experience. And for teachers, this is what it looks like. I hope this short little tutorial helps, and until later.